students, welcome to Diamond Group of Institution online classes. Of course, all of you people are well known about there's a little gap about 2.5 months in between students and teacher. Fortunately, our management of our college are decided to conduct online classes to fulfill the gap in between students and teacher also. So I am Chandrasekhar, faculty of zoology, and today I supposed to explain about the human reproduction itself. Of course, what I am going to be take the class and what I am going to be discuss the questions which are related with the cases, NEET, and some of the questions are related with the ends also. And just I am welcoming to zoology class. And today's topic is the human reproduction. And the first question as follows: which of these mismatched? Which of these mismatched? Options are as follows: interstitial cells. Of course, you know that the interstitial cells are which are present just above the seminiferous tubules of the testis, and which are always look after to secretion of the androgen. The main important hormone is called testosterone. So in that way, the interstitial cells are matched with the secretion of the testosterone itself. The second option is the seminiferous tubules, and the seminiferous tubules are always look after the production of the sperms itself. The seminiferous tubules are lies in the compartment 250 compartments of the each testis itself. And so the second option is also well matched with the seminiferous tubules and as well as sperms itself. And after that, the third option is the vas difference. Vas difference is nothing but is one of the male external duct itself. So the vas difference is always transport the sperm from chorda epididymis to the ejaculated duct itself. So regarding the third option, vas difference is always not concerned with the secretion of the seminal fluid production itself. So that's why we are going to be of the third option for the first question, that is called which of these mismatch itself. In case of fourth, penis is the male external genitalia and which is always helpful in the copulation with the female itself. In that way, I am concluding the first question by selecting the third option. The third option is mismatched in this question itself. And now we go for the second question. And we go for the second question, that is called the female external genitalia. The female external genitalia includes, the options are as follows. The first option is the ovary, and second option is the mammary glands, and third option is the mans pubis, and fourth is the clitoris, and fifth is the labia majora itself. And of course, you know that the ovary is the primary sex organs, and after that the mammary glands are structurally and functionally associated with the female reproductive system. In case of mans pubis, so is a fatty male structure, and clitoris is a rod-like structure, and of course which is located just above the urinary opening, and of course the functionally the clitoris is a homologous organs to the penis of the male reproductive system also. And after that, labia majora is one of the fleshy male structures which are covering the labia minora itself. So in that way, apart from the ovary and mammary glands, and the remaining three of them, like that mans pubis and clitoris and labia majora, are included under the female external genitalia itself. Now the first option is included first and second because of the ovary and mammary glands, and the second option is included second and third option, and just they ignore the fifth option, just the fifth one also. In case of third option is included third. What is that? Mans pubis, and fourth is the clitoris, and fifth one is the labia majora itself. And that's why the mans pubis and clitoris and labia majora, they are three of them are there included at the female external genitalia itself. They are always supporting the female reproductive system of the female human being itself. And after that, here the fourth option is only included second, third, fourth also. Among four options, the correct option is the C option itself. So that's why I am selecting the third option for the person like the female external genitalia included itself. Now we go for the third question. That is referred to the given figure of TS of penis. So this is in this figure certainly three of the alphabets are given, particularly A and B, and this is the fibrous tissue itself. Okay, and B is a kind of tissue, and they are located on dorsal surface or dorsal side of the penis itself. In case of A, is also another kind of the tissue which is located on ventral side of the penis itself. Okay. Now just here the question is asking like that. Refer to the given figure of TS of the penis. For how will penis functions be altered if the blood supply to the B is impaired? If the blood supply is supposed to stop to the B label part of the penis, what just any difference and any altering of function of the penis itself. And options are as follows. Here the erection will be able to occur, but ejaculation will not be possible. Of course, this option is partially correct, but here once the penis is erected, when it is inserted into the female genital tract during the intercourse with the female, certainly there is a possibility of the release of sperms itself. But here the option is not correct. First option is not correct because of it is not completely given. And the second option is that the urethra will become occluded itself. It is not at all concerned with the functioning of adults. It is not at all connected to the function and supply of blood to the penis, because of whatever the sperms are released by the penis into the urethra, then only the urethra will be carrying the sperms and ejaculated them into the female genital tract with the help of external urethral meatus itself. The second option is also not concerned with the function of the penis itself. And the third one is the erection will not occur itself. The erection will not occur. Okay, and the fourth option is the erection, just the erect penis will be unable to flash itself. So in four of the options, the third option is selected because of erection will not be occur. Because of when you take the TS of the penis, certainly it is simply comprises with a cylindrical erectile tissues itself. The erectile tissues of the penis is differentiated into two types also. Corpora cavernosa and corpora spongiosum itself. The corpora cavernosa and corpora spongiosum is divided into three of the columns, and two of the columns are located on dorsal side and dorsal surface of the penis, and whereas one column of the erectile tissue is present in the ventral side of the penis itself. And two columns of the tissue, erectile tissue is located on the just dorsal side of the penis, which are simply called as the corpora cavernosa. And here the second one is the corpora spongiosum is present in the ventral surface or ventral portion of the penis itself. Particularly just in between the corpora cavernosa, a number of blood spaces can be present. During the sexual intercourse, certainly the blood places which are present in the corpora cavernosa, they are supplied with the blood itself. The enormous amount of the blood is supplied to the gaps or the blood spaces of the corpora cavernosa, which are helpful in the erection of the penis. Once the penis is erected, certainly it can be able to release the sperms into the female genital tract during the intercourse with the female human being itself. If the blood supply is impaired into the blood spaces of the corpora cavernosa, so certainly there is no erection of the penis. When the penis is not erected, certainly there is no release of sperms into the female genital tract. So on the basis of that, I am opting the third option for this question. That is the right option for the third question itself. That is called erection will not occur. And after that, we go for the fourth question itself. The fourth question as follows. In humans, the unpaired male reproductive structure is. Whenever you read out the four of the option regarding the fourth question, seminal vesicles. You know that the seminal vesicles are paired and they are also considered the male external glands also. They always look after the secretion of the seminal plasma, about 60% itself. Here the prostate gland is the unpaired gland, though it is included as the male external gland itself. And the bulbourethral glands are paired. And of course here the D option is the testes. The testes are also present in pairs itself. Among the four of the option, seminal vesicles are paired, and the bulbourethral glands are also paired, and the testes are the primary male sex organs which are also present in pair, exceptionally the prostate gland, though it is included as the male external gland which is present in unpaired one itself. That's why we are opting the second option regarding the fourth question, that is called B option, that is the prostate gland itself. Now we go for the fifth question. The refers to the given figure. The options are like this. Of course, we are understand why you see in the figure. This figure is concerned with the spermid cell. Of course, here some of the point tests, some of the parts are also given, and some of the labels are also given in the form of E, A, B, C and D also. E just is indicating the plasma membrane, and A is indicating the acrosome, and B is indicating the head part itself, and C is indicating the neck parts, and D is indicating the middle piece also. And among these labeled parts which are very important regarding the spermid cell, the question is asking that among the 5 labeled parts of the sperm which are very important for the spermid cell or for the functioning of spermid cell. And options are as follows. A contains enzyme for penetrating the egg at the time of fertilization. Of course, you know that the acrosome is the sharp and pointed structure which made with some of the enzymes also. Protease, one of the enzyme, phosphatase is the second enzyme, and the third enzyme is the hyaluronidase itself. These 3 of the enzymes are present in the acrosome and which are helpful to the sperm to penetrate to the egg during the fertilization in between sperm and egg itself. That's why A option is also right. And regarding the second, B plays a role in cleavage of the zygote itself. Here, the B option is always indicating that after fertilization there is a formation of the zygote itself. And the B part will be contains one of the specialized structure that is called paginal centriole is present. The paginal centriole is always helpful in the first cleavage of the zygote itself, which is not at all concerned with the fusion of the sperm with the egg itself. That's why there is no importance to the second option. And C give rise to the axial filament of the sperm itself. Here the C is the C part is one of the part of the sperm which contain the distal centriole, which is always helpful in the formation of the axial filament in the flagellum of the sperm itself. That's why the distal centriole is also not helpful to the sperm to penetrate or to fuse with the egg itself. That's why the C is also not considered the correct one. And the fourth one is the D provides. This is the D part of the sperm. D provides energy for the movement of the sperm itself. Because of the D part of the sperm will be provided with the many number of the mitochondria itself. The mitochondria naturally helpful in the synthesis and storage of the energy itself. Whatever the energy so far present in the D part of the sperm, which is helpful in the or providing the energy for the momentum of the flagellum, and which is ultimately giving motility to the sperm itself. So that's why now we go for which of the following statements are correct. Now we go for the first option is 1 and 2, and second option is the second and fourth. And now we go for the what I explained, that the first part is helpful in the penetration of the sperm with the egg. That's why we are opting the first option. And the fourth, here in B option, the fourth labeled part is indicating that many are the number of mitochondria can be present in the D part of the sperm, which is providing the energy itself. So that's why the B option is included 1 and 4. And these two are the very important parts of the sperm, and which are helpful in the fusion of the sperm and egg itself. So that's why in this case the B option is a absolutely correct option to the fifth question, whereas the third option is also not concerned, and the D option is also not concerned with the fifth question. So the conclusion is B option is correct for the fifth question itself. And now we go for the sixth question itself. The first polar body is formed at which stage of the oogenesis? Already we know that what do you mean of oogenesis? The production of the egg. The production of the egg from the ovaries. At the fetal stage only, the ovaries are supposed to develop in the fetal or fetus itself. And after that, the ovaries are going to be developed the primary follicles. During the embryonic development, the primary follicles are undergoes first meiosis division. And of course, when they are not complete the first meiosis division, they are stopped at the prophase stage of the first meiosis division. And after that, the first meiosis division is the unequal division, and which will be divided the oogonial cells, oogonial mother cells also. The oogonial mother cell is complete the first meiosis division. When it is considered one of the unequal division, that will be resulting in the formation of two unequal sized cells itself. The large sized secondary oocyte, and say that after that there is a nominal and the microscopic structure will be present, that will be called as the first polar body itself. So that means there is a formation of first polar body along with the large sized secondary oocyte after completion of the first meiosis itself. And that's why we are opting the first option is a better option to the sixth question. And of course, the second meiosis is always not at all concerned with this production of the first polar body, because of after entering of the sperm into the secondary oocyte, the secondary oocyte is supposed to complete the second meiosis division to form the ootyted second polar body itself. That's why the second option is not at all concerned with the first polar body. And after that, first mitosis division. The first mitosis division is always concerned with the production of the primary oocytes and other things also. That's why the first mitosis division is not at all concerned with the formation of the polar body itself. That's why the third option is also not related with the sixth question. And after that, D question, differentiation. Of course, differentiation is only which is helpful in the development of different type of the cells, but not deciding and not helpful in the formation of the polar body itself. So that's why I am concluding by selection of the second option as the correct answer or correct option to the sixth question, that is called first polar body is formed at which stage of the oogenesis, that is called first meiosis. The first option is the correct option. Now we go for the seventh question itself. Urine test during pregnancy. Urine test during pregnancy determine the pregnancy. So here, of course, so many people will be know about that. How the people can be confirm the pregnancy in the women itself. Here, when you take out a little urine from the suspected pregnant woman, if the technicians or doctors are observed, there is a presence of human chorionic gonadotropin, and that is the confirmation test for the pregnancy itself. Because of the gonadotropin hormone is secreted by the pituitary gland of the mother itself. The gonadotropin is always helpful to stimulate the secretion of the progesterone itself. The progesterone is always maintaining the uterus to maintain the pregnancy itself. So that's why I am opting the option after discussing the second. After discussing the second itself, estrogen. Estrogen is always secreted by the follicular cells. Of course, whether they are primary follicles or Graafian follicles, which are secreting the estrogen, which is helpful in the development of endometrium, and as well as which is also helpful in the maintenance of the female secondary sexual characteristics itself. And C option is the progesterone. Because of the gonadotropin, after presence of the gonadotropin, and by the stimulation of the gonadotropin of the pituitary gland, there is a secretion of the progesterone itself. Because of after completion of the rupture of the Graafian follicle, or after completion of the ovulation, there is a release of it, and the release rate is fused with the sperm, then only the pregnancy will be confirmed. So that's it. And the third option is also not related, to decide or to determine the pregnancy itself. And D option is the luteinizing hormone. The luteinizing hormone is always helpful in the ovulation, not helpful in the confirmation of the pregnancy itself. So that's why among four options, the first option is well suited for the determination of the pregnancy by the presence of the human chorionic gonadotropin itself. So that's why for seventh question, I am opting the first option, that is called human chorionic gonadotropin itself.
Question we go for the 8th question. And 8th question as follows: given flow chart shows the pathway of sperm transport. Observe the flow chart carefully and identify the A, B and C. And here the flow of the sperms or the pathway of the sperms are in this way itself. The seminiferous tubules and the sperms are passed from the seminiferous tubules to reach to the A, and after that from A to B, and from B to the epididymis, from epididymis to the C, and finally reach it to the urethra itself. Now the question is asking you to identify the names of A, B and C in the pathway of the sperms itself. Now the options are as follows: A option, in A just retitestis, and in B vasa deferens, and C the vasa efferentia. Actually here in A option retitestis is okay. Retitestis is collecting or receiving the sperms from the seminiferous tubules and immediately send them to the vasa efferentia. Through the vasa efferentia, the sperms can be passed into the epididymis. From the epididymis, they are passed them to the vasa deferens. Vasa differentia is send the sperms into the urethra itself. So that's why the A option is not indicating the correct pathway of the sperms itself. That's why A option is not correct. And in case of B option, certainly in B option, A is the retitestis, B the vasa efferentia, and C is the vasa deferens itself. Now the B is supposed to correct because of from the seminiferous tubules the sperms are passed into the retitestis. From the retitestis the sperms are passed into the vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia the sperms are sent into the epididymis. From the epididymis the sperms are simply carried into the vasa deferens. From the vasa deferens they are finally reached to the urethra itself. That's why the second option looks correct in this way. And now you go for the C option, vasa deferens, no. And retitestis, the sperms are not directly sent to the vasa difference from the seminiferous tubules is not correct, so far not correct. And after that reti testis, the sperms from vasa difference to the reti testis, from the reti testis they are coming into the vasa efferentia itself. Just here the C option is not at all concerned with the pathway of the sperms itself. Now the D option, vasa efferentia, from the vasa efferentia the sperms are reached to the reti testis, from the reti testis the sperms are carried into the vasa difference. So in that way the D option is also not at all concerned with the pathway of the sperms itself. That's why I am opting the second option, that is the B option is the correct pathway for the transport of the sperms in a systematic manner itself. That's why here the B option is correct for the 8th question, that is red seminiferous tubules passing the sperms into the reti testis. From the reti testis they are carried into the vasa efferentia, and after that vasa efferentia they send the sperms into the epididymis, epididymis to the vasa difference to the urethra itself. That's why the B option is the correct option for the 8th question. And after that you go for the 9th question. Which of the following is not a uterine function? And 9th just options are like that. And the A option is the mechanical protection of the developing embryo. Of course the uterus is not only maintaining the pregnancy, and as well as the uterus is always helpful in the protection, mechanical protection of the developing embryo itself. Okay, and this is also correct. And the B, the nutritional support of the growing embryo itself. After implantation of the blastocyst is the one of the 32 celled stage of the embryonic development of the human being, because of a lot of and bundles of the blood capillaries are so far present in the endometrium of the uterus for sake of supply the nutritive substance to the growing embryo itself. So that's why B option is also supporting the function of the uterus itself. And third option is the waste removal for the developing embryo, because of whenever the fetus is supplying the nutritive substance from the mother or uterus of the mother, naturally the embryo is supposed to release the excretory material into the uterus, and in that way the uterus of the mother is also helpful in the removal of the waste products of the fetus itself. And whereas D option, site of the fertilization, the site of the fertilization is not at all concerned with the function of the uterus itself. That's why among the 4 options, the 4th option, that is called site of the fertilization, is not at all concerned with the function of the uterus. Only the fertilization of the human being can be takes place within the upper part of the just ampullary isthmus part of the fallopian tube itself, or the upper part of the fallopian tube is the best site for the fertilization. The fertilization is not at all concerned with the uterus itself. That's why the 4th option is not at all related with the function of the uterus. That's why the 4th option is related to 9th question. That's why I am opting the D option itself. Now you go for the 10th question. 10th. You carefully read out the 10th question, starting from the maximum. Arrange the following male reproductive accessory organs in the correct order based on the amount of the secretion. The first option, of course here the first option is given like that, prostate gland. Second is the seminal vesicle, and third is the bulbourethral gland. Here these 3 of them are collectively named as the male reproductive accessory glands. What they do, they secrete the seminal plasma. They secrete the seminal plasma. Here the first option is given, one prostate gland, and after that seminal vesicles, and after that third bulbourethral gland itself. It means that prostate gland is secreted more secretion than seminal vesicle, and seminal vesicle are secreted more than bulbo. This order is not a correct manner itself. And after that you go for the B option. Here the third bulbourethral gland is secretes more secretion than seminal vesicle, and seminal vesicle is secretes more secretion than the prostate gland. This order is also not in correct manner. And the third option is here the seminal vesicles are secrete more secretion than bulbo. Of course, bulbourethral gland is secrete more than and prostate gland. Of course, the third option is also not correct sequence here. And now we go for the third option. Now we go for the D option. Seminal vesicles are present in 2, and the seminal vesicles are secreting the secretion which contribute the 60% of the seminal plasma itself. So that's why the seminal vesicles are secreting more secretion than prostate gland. Here the prostate gland is the unpaired gland which also secrete the one kind of the secretion which is contribute the 15 to 30% of the seminal plasma and then bulbourethral. That means the meager and lesser amount of the secretion can be secreted by the bulbourethral gland itself. So that's why the D option, whatever the sequence is given regarding the amount of the secretion regarding the seminal vesicle, prostate gland and bulbourethral gland, the D option is systematically given, and so that's why the D option is a opted correct option for the 10th question, that is called fourth option. That is the D option, that is the seminal vesicles, and after that prostate gland, and after that bulbourethral gland. So that's why I am opting the D option for the 10th question. And after that you go for the 11th question, and you carefully read out the embryonic development and according to the time interval itself. The match the time for the fertilization and which are abbreviated in the form of PQRS. Of course, match the time from fertilization with the stages in fetal development. And according to the time interval, what are the stages are supposed to develop during the embryonic development? They are indicated in the form of P, Q, R and S itself. Now, here they are given like that 1, 2, 4 options itself. Now you select the correct option and what are the internal parts are so far developed according to the time interval, and the time is given in the form of week itself. Of course, you know that the gestation period, the intrauterine period of the embryonic development of human being is distributed or divided into 3 of the trimester. Each of the trimester is included 12 weeks of the time. So in that way, the P is indicating the week or else 4 days, 4 weeks of the time. Q is indicating the 24 weeks of the time, and R is indicating the 12 weeks of the time, and S is indicating the 20 weeks of the time. And of course, here the fetal, whatever the parts are so far developed in the fetal embryonic development, in which the 4 of the parts are given. One is the hair begin grow, and the second is the sex organs well developed, and third option eyelids open, and fourth one is the heart and blood vessels and gut form also found. Now we go for the options itself. The first option, now you go for the first option, and P is indicating the heart. The first part of the embryonic development is concerned with the development of heart, blood vessels and gut form. And Q is indicating the third part. Q is indicating the eyelids are supposed to open, and R is indicating the development of fully sexual organs itself, and S is indicating the hair is going to be begin and develop on the total surface of the embryo itself, or total surface of the body itself. Now the B option is given like P is equivalent to P is 2. What is the 2 years sex organs? What is the time interval? 4 weeks of the time. The second option is giving that here the sex organs are so far developed. In case of Q, and certainly the Q is indicating that the hair begins to start or begin to grow, and R is indicating that what is the fourth part, heart, blood vessels and gut form is so far formed, and S is indicating that here the eyelids are supposed to open, and of course B is not at all concerned with the time interval and as well as the development of internal parts in the fetus itself, and C option is indicating P, the heart and blood vessels and gut form. Q is indicating the development of eyelids, and R is indicating the hair begin grow, and S is indicating the sex organs itself. And of course the C option is also not matching with each other, and after that go for the just D option. Where is it? C option हो गया ना सर, C option हो गई ना. Now go for the C option. Here P is indicating hair begin grow, and Q is indicating the well, just here the eyelids are open, and R is indicating the hair begin grow, and S is indicating the sex organs. Now we go for the fourth option, that is the D. P is indicating hair begin grow, and Q is indicating the eyelids open, and R is indicating heart, development of heart, blood vessels and gut form, and S is indicating the sex organs. And fourth option or D option is also not related with that, and only the first option is given regular time interval and as well as matching with the internal parts are so far developed in the fetus itself. That is the first option is correct option for the 11th question, that is indicating P. The just P is 4 weeks of the time. Certainly in fetus, certainly there is a development of heart, blood vessels and gut form, and Q is indicating the third, that is the eyelids are supposed to open. After completion of second trimester, the eyelids are supposed to develop, and the eyelids are supposed to open itself, and after that R is indicating 12 weeks of the time, and what it just all the sex organs are supposed to develop in the fetus. Whether the fetus is a male, the male sex organs are supposed to develop. If the fetus is female, certain the female sex organs are supposed to develop, and S is indicating that hair is developed all over the surface of the body itself. That's why the first option is correct option to the 11th question itself. So I am myself is just concluding the today class, and tomorrow is supposed to continue the same topic, and some more questions will be discussed and selecting the correct option in front of you people itself.